Welcome back to another episode of Monkey Brothers Nerd Show, starring Doc, Louie, and of course, Wolfie Doo.
So, we've been talking about all sorts of shit, but Doc brought up the good point of, let's talk about, what is it, the Grand Theft Auto Definitive Edition?
Yes.
It recently came out, so we're kind of dating this video, not really a video, audio. So we're dating this, this video anyways. Just recently came out and seems to have been a bit disastrous. Not as bad as it could be, but not as good as they wanted.
Well, I don't know about that because I know that a lot of people online were pissed off for the PC or the computer. They were only available through Rockstar.
Yeah.
You can only launch it through Rockstar. I know one article I was reading was the guy that wrote the article, I can't remember his name, literally stepped away from his computer, after he initiated a download, and then came back an hour later, and Rockstar still hadn't downloaded his game. So, I mean, for those of you on PC, yeah, it was pretty bad. I was contemplating buying it because, I was hyped up about wanting to play Vice City, especially on my Xbox, because, the PlayStation controller, flares up my carpal tunnel.
Sounds like you're getting old.
Yeah.
We're all getting old.
Yeah, it's okay.
But more than anything else, I was really hyped up. I saw some of the renderings on that YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, it looks nothing like that. I know what I read was the Vice City. Mm-hmm. Some of the faces looked a little bit better, but they kind of look like amalgamated faces.
Yeah, they look like they used, it looks like they increased the polygon count on these models without increasing the fidelity on the actual images for them. And so it looks very potato-like. Yep.
On top of that, for Vice City, instead of having pretty much a block for a hand, it looks like you have like sausage fingers now. Yeah. So, I don't know. It's pretty sad what they could have done with it, but what they chose to do instead. Yeah. Very disappointing, especially for Rockstar, considering they always kind of lead the way in graphics and,
Yeah. One thing I know I was kind of disappointed in, and I was actually going to pick it up for the PC. Didn't even care about, have to go through the Rockstar launcher. But the thing I was disappointed about was the fact that they lost the licenses to a lot of the songs from Vice City and didn't bother to get them back.
Well, that's even worse. Wow.
And so a lot of the, iconic sounds, iconic sounds. Man, can I fucking talk today? Songs that were in that game are no longer in that game. They were basically just cut from the game, and so the soundtrack is significantly smaller from what I hear.
And also what I heard that for those of you on PC, I don't think you were going to be able to do any mods.
That seems like the weirdest thing ever.
Apparently modders have already fixed some of the graphical issues.
Well, that's good. Like I said, I was really, really hoping there's a group on YouTube that do like a lot of rendering, and they really released like certain parts of what they thought it could look like, and theirs looked a lot better than what it actually was.
Of course.
So, it's pretty sad. Sad day. I guess I'm glad I didn't buy it.
Yeah.
I was still contemplating it today, but considering that it's only available for the Series X or the Series S.
Yeah, and I know they took down the option to even buy it for a while. I don't know if they put it back up already. Do you know anybody? No.
I checked it today on Microsoft. You were still able to buy it.
Oh, okay.
That's by no means does that mean that you should, but.
But yeah, it is one of those disappointing things. So, speaking of, I guess, disappointment, that's a real downer of a conversation, isn't it?
I know.
But, what other games, movies, have you had that happen to, you know? Like...
Well, I mean... Well, you know, I'm a big fan of Knights of the Old Republic.
Yeah.
The second one was a little bit disappointing.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the story, I didn't mind it so much, but it just seemed rushed.
Yeah. That's exactly what that was, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Because I think from the first one to the second one, there's only 14 months of production.
And I think part of that reason was that weren't they working on the supposed Warcraft killer video game that they released for that MMO?
You mean the Old Republic? I think it wasn't until afterwards that they started working on that. But I think it was, as always, one of the biggest bad guys in video games, EA, that was like, holy crap, we need to capitalize on this, you know, on this trend. Pump out another game, you know, in 14 months.
So, speaking of EA, something I just heard, was it yesterday or the day before? They lost the license to FIFA.
Oh, did they?
What?
Yes.
That's a pretty big license to lose.
Yeah, so the soccer game will no longer be called FIFA. Of course, that belongs to EA. But part of the reason why I believe that FIFA wanted out of that contract, no longer wanted them to renew it.
Mm-hmm.
So they were in the process of renegotiation, and they asked for $1 billion.
Jesus.
And EA was not willing to pay that. So...
That's one way to get out of contract.
Right? They will be losing that license, which is a really big, big blow if you think about it, because...
Because I know, like, a lot of people that play just FIFA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just... It's one of those big games like what is it? The football one. Madden, yeah. Yeah. It's just one of those games, like, that was one of their big flagships, you know? So, losing it... Speaking of Madden, is the Madden curse still a thing?
Yes.
Yes.
Like an active thing where, like...
Yes.
Really?
It's weird because, like, because obviously there's some years where it's obviously more pronounced than others.
Like this year.
Yeah.
Okay, what happened this year?
So this year they have two people on the cover. It's Mahomes and Tom Brady.
Okay.
Well, Tom Brady's still Tom Brady. He's having a great year. He'll be in the playoffs. Patrick Mahomes, on the other hand, his Chiefs, which were just in Super Bowl last year and they lost it, they are horrible this year. Like, horrible, terrible. And, like, him specifically. I mean,
really?
He's just having a bad year. I mean, everybody's entitled to have a bad year. At least he's not injured. But he is having a really bad year.
Huh.
So, I mean, luckily for him, he's not hurt.
Yeah.
You know, usually the Madden curse is blown out ACL or MCL or...
Off the team for legal issues.
Yeah. So, I mean,
I don't think I've ever heard of that. Like, for legal issues. And I'm pretty sure we can go into that in a whole different episode. But
for the most part, so yeah. I mean, if you believe in the Madden curse, I mean, you know, Patrick Mahomes is the latest victim.
Really? So, would there be an equivalent of FIFA curse or something? Or,
as far as I know, no.
No, like, I haven't heard of any of the cover athletes ever blowing out an ACL or anything.
Yeah. Because I thought they started like putting just generic football players on the cover to quote unquote counteract it. No, they're just like, oh, fuck it.
I think the Madden curse became a thing of, like, I think there was one guy that, like, tore an ACL or had a big issue or, like, an injury after being on that year's Madden.
Yeah.
But then, like, everybody started equating it
to the
So it's at this point it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy.
I get you.
Well, of course, no, they're not going to turn it down because, I mean, honestly, I'm sure
like your
that's an endorsement, so you get paid for it. So
yeah,
you know, why would you turn down that good EA money?
Yeah,
you know, so or however much they're making. So, like I said, are they going to turn down the money? No, you know. So I don't know. I would have been like, yeah, thanks, but no thanks.
So let's get back to our original subject. What about you, Wolf? Any recent, like, remasters or anything that, you know, you're just really disappointed by?
Nothing recent, because I've actually slowed down in buying my games. I will say probably the last one was God of War Ascension.
God of War Ascension.
That was the prequel on PS3.
Okay.
Like, I got excited because, like, God of War always kind of came out around my birthday, so it was always like a birthday present to me. And that one, it wasn't necessarily the game I thought I was getting when I saw like the trailers and everything, and like when I actually picked it up, like it was still an alright game, but it wasn't necessarily up to the same quality as
the other one,
as the other ones. Especially like God of War 3 came out on the PS3 as well, and like after you have that, and then like followed up with this one, it's kind of a bad taste in your mouth.
I get you. Yeah. For me, I mean, honestly, like, in terms of remasters, I'm just kind of like, I've been pretty happy. I think this is the only one that I've seen that was like pretty bad. Only, and by all means, I understand they lost the licenses to the songs. They can't put them back in, you know?
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm just like, that kind of really sucks, you know? And
I would say the last remaster I bought was the BioShock one. It was 1 and 2. And to me, honestly, I didn't notice that much of a difference in quality.
Okay.
Like, everything, there was more smoothness to it, but everything kind of still looked and felt
pretty good.
Pretty good and similar from the original. So.
Okay. No, I get you. So, I mean, I don't know. BioShock for me is one of those games that it came out too recent, and I say that knowing that it came out well over a decade ago. Yeah. And now I'm kind of sad about the fact that, anyways, but
I thought they were going to re-release another one.
Not that I know of. I mean, they came out with that BioShock Infinite.
I have that, and I still haven't played it.
I played through 2, and like I think honestly, I need to play through Infinite because it feels like that would be a better successor. I think they called it a successor, but not a sequel. And I think that's oddly enough, that's one thing I think more movies / games should do. Is like by all means, like I guess the best way to put it is like the James Bond series, you know. Like, I think they actually might be doing it, but like they should pass on the 007 moniker, you know, instead of having it just be multiple actors. And it's like, I know recently, like it's kind of like one of those things. Is like, well, is it all supposed to be the same character, you know, just played by different actors across different times, or is it supposed to be just an actual different person and they take the code name James Bond, you know? But I think it's supposed to be the same character, right?
Correct.
Well, that's one of the things that I'm just like. I think it's like they should finish off the James Bond story, right? And they should just continue the 007 moniker. You know? I don't know. I
mean, it's one of those things. I mean, considering that those came from a book.
Yeah, Sir Ian McKellen?
Ian Fleming.
Ian Fleming. I got it close.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, 3/4 of it.
But it's one of those things where to me, I'm like, it's no different than, I guess, Doctor Who.
Yeah.
The only difference is, you know, with Doctor Who, at least when they pass on the Doctor Who moniker, it doesn't matter whether it's male or female.
Yeah.
So, but with 007, it's the same person.
Yeah, it's the same person, but like that's the thing is like I think it just should be the 007, not James Bond.
No, I get what you're saying. It should be it would be the same moniker, just a different person, a different character, not James Bond playing it.
Yeah.
So
my understanding was like in the movies that it was the moniker and James Bond being passed around as being like of course 007 being the agent, but then Bond was just the moniker that they used since it was easy.
No. It was supposed. It's always James Bond is literally the same spy. Always played by different actors. Because I think, if I'm not mistaken, in the book, it's just the same character.
Yeah, I believe so.
But, I mean, that's why you have a lot of people... Like, I'm all for... At one point, I thought they had said something about that the new James Bond was going to be female. Again, I'm all for inclusion and diversity, but there's some times that I'm like, that just wouldn't fit.
Yeah, not at least not with the name James Bond. Like I said, I think I was actually talking to our sister about this, but I don't really care, but just like, by all means, yeah, she can have the 007 moniker, Yeah. Like, I think the 007 is just the name of the code name of an agent.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's just, I guess it's like a military designation, I guess, the best way to put it. But, I mean, for all intents and purposes, to me, I'm like, just like the issue if he was, African American, I don't see any problem there. It's not the issue that everybody makes it to be.
Yeah.
But I just think sometimes you want to be inclusive that it gets to the point where you're like, okay, come on, like just.
Yeah.
I don't care. Like, if you want to create a different character, I think that's wonderful.
Yeah. And I think this is going to morph our conversation to something entirely different. But that's actually kind of like. So remember a couple of weeks back now, there's a big freaking brouhaha over Superman being gay or bi or whatever. And so basically, a lot of people freaked out, right? Because it's like, oh, Superman's not gay. And it's like, you're right. And that, at first I was like, oh, it seems kind of weird, but, as always, I'm just like, let's see where this goes, But it winds up, it's actually, what is it? His son, Jonathan Kent? Or
I think so.
Yeah, his son, Jonathan Kent, that comes out as bi. And it's like, I think it's because he's taken the name Superman as his, moniker as well. And I'm like, okay, so that's what I'm completely okay with that because that's a brand new character and they're still fleshing him out. So,
Yeah.
It's cool. Instead of transforming a character, and I hate using this word, but I'm going to use it. I guess I could use the lesser evil here. Instead of gay washing it, much like a lot of Hollywood whitewashes movies where it's like, oh, hey, Avatar: The Last Airbender, where people are clearly of different ethnicities. It's just all white people. Cool.
Yeah.
No, there's, gay washing too. Instead of gay washing a current character,
No, I agree. I mean, I think that at the end of the day, it's just, I don't know, how, the LGBT community feels about it. But me personally, I'm just more like, I don't know. I mean, I'm still the same guy that would like to have more Latinos in more movies. Of course, Marvel just announced there's 7 new people that are going to be, of course, the Submariner. He's Mexican.
Really?
Yeah.
Actually, I think I heard about that. Who is he?
Well, the guy's name is Tenochtitlan, if I'm not mistaken.
All right, then.
I want to say that's his name.
His name is a city. Gotcha.
Don't quote me on that one. But it's something very...
No, we're holding you to it.
Yeah, we're quoting you.
Yeah, very Aztec-y, I guess,
Yeah.
But, then, of course, Salma Hayek was in the Eternals.
Yeah, that's right.
And there's several more people. And, I mean, so, hey, big,
Big round of applause there.
Yeah, big round of applause to Marvel. Of course, they're not saying, hey, he's the Submariner and he was born in Mexico, but he's also Submariner. It's just, hey, talk about somebody of Latin descent is playing this character and you don't have to make an excuse. It's just, it is who it is.
Yeah.
I think, for me with, Jonathan Kent, I'm like you said, it's a newer character. You're fleshing him out.
Mm-hmm.
Why can't these characters be, whether you're gay or African American or Asian or Hispanic, or you're fleshing them out. Let them be who they're going to be.
Yeah.
It's part of the creative process, which is one of the things that we always say as, comic book people, that there's not a lot of creativity.
Mm-hmm.
But when there is, we're very clear on, no. Look, we always want creativity, but when it doesn't fit our narrative, then all of a sudden we have an issue with it.
Yeah.
Just like Future State in DC Comics, not Lucius Fox, but his son is, you know, the Batman in the future.
Yeah.
You know, and some people had an issue with it. I don't know why. I'm like, it's not telling you that, you know, it's Bruce Wayne from now. It's just telling you who Batman is in the future, you know.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that, you know.
Yeah.
People will be like, well, that's supposed to be Terry McGinnis. I'm like, look, it's a story being told. It's a different story arc. Let it be told.
Yeah. Not only that, but Terry McGinnis is way in the future.
Right.
So it's like, there's plenty of time there for somebody else to be Batman. Like, you can't expect, I guess in Batman Beyond, you know, old man Bruce is still
very alive and kicking.
Yeah.
But, you know, again, it's one of those things that it's like we can't sit there and we say we want more creativity and some change, but then when it doesn't fit what we want, all of a sudden it's no. I'm like, look, the best way I can tell you is you create your own, you know, comic book company, you create your own characters and let them be what they're going to be. So, I don't know. I'm all for, you know, more creativity in comics in any field, you know.
Yeah.
You know, if we want to be inclusive, by all means, you know. But there's always going to be people that are going to bash it no matter what.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I didn't hear about the Superman thing. I heard about, I guess, Marvel. Either they started a new series or run with the Guardians, but they, like, turned Peter
Quill?
Yeah. Like, they was like, oh, yeah, he's bi. Like, I heard that. I didn't hear anything about Superman.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't hear anything about that.
Yeah, I didn't either. But, yeah, I know, like, the big thing is that they you know, the big one that I heard was the Superman thing, mostly because it was Superman. Yeah. It was an already established character, and it's like, all right, so what happens to Lois, you know? Like, not that it's really important what happens to Lois. It's just, like, so all this time...
Lois got that bat dick.
I know. That's another one for Batman to take over there. You know?
Another one, Bruce Wayne, billionaire playboy.
Yeah. But,
take that nerd Clark Kent working at the newspaper.
Talk about when you're disguised, just a pair of glasses. Who didn't know it was you?
Which is weird, because, like, I don't know if you ever saw when the Henry Cavill Superman came out. Like, he actually went out and actually did that just to see how, you know, the efficiency of it. And was, like, actually walking around New York City with a big billboard of him as Superman in the background. And all he was doing was just putting on some glasses and, like, people wouldn't recognize him. And then, like, it was just like he would come back, like, he'd, like, leave and come back an hour later without the glasses and be like, oh my God, it's Henry Cavill. And he was like, are you serious? Like, are you fucking serious? This actually fucking works? Like,
I guess so. I mean, you know, people being very observant in what they are, you know.
Like, apparently just covering the eyes or, like, leaving the mouth exposed, those are the best ways to disguise yourself.
yeah.
Like, apparently that's full.
And maybe talking like this.
Who's scared up?
Talking like an ex-smoker. But
Just got this fucking above the influence ads in my head now.
yeah. But yeah, it is one of those things. It's like, yeah. I mean, this conversation took a big change from remasters to, I guess, reimaginings. There you go.
Being inclusive. That's right.
So, I mean, that'll be it for this episode. I think we went pretty deep on that one. So, as always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe.
Punch that notification bell.
There we are. We're abusing it again.